There's so many resources out there. I mean, here we are, we're on YouTube. I have YouTube so many things in terms of veganism, or if I have any type of ailment, if I have acne or something else, there's so many resources online that you can tap into. There's people or friends. If you see someone that you know that's living a life that you are admiring, talk to them. People love to share their story and love to share their resources. I hope that they're not, selfish so much that they wouldn't share the good news, pretty much. So for me, I think it's just doing the work, and finding a resource, a starting point, maybe even having some type of accountability partner in terms of a healthy diet lifestyle or a healthy workout partner lifestyle, I guess. What was my word? What was I just saying? An accountability partner. I think that's huge, because if you go into it with someone else that's right there with you, you're not doing it alone, because doing it alone is a little bit scary, especially if you don't have a health background and you just don't know where to start. That's really tough. So having someone that can go through the motions with you. I think another thing is to set down or to set up a list of goals, even if you just start with 2 or 3. What's your goal? Are you looking for a certain physique? Are you looking to change your diet and what you're ingesting? Are you trying to limit sugar or trying to limit alcohol? Are you trying to change your diet so that it can change your mindset, your mental health? I guess your stomach is your first brain and your brain is your second brain. You're a doctor, Ed, so I don't know where you sit with that or what you've read on that.
That's not medical at all, but okay.
Okay, well, that's what they say.
They say, to get whoever they is, to
yes.
get to a man's heart is through their stomach.
There's a lot of hormones that run through your stomach or that cavity that impact your mind and your brain and your mental health and focus. So that's what I'm trying to get to with that. So yeah, so basically writing down a list of goals and what you're looking for, and then taking, smaller steps or smaller goals within your initial goals to figure out how you're going to get there, your action plan. So for me, going to the gym, I have an idea of what I want. For me, it's not weight-based. I'm not trying to gain weight. I'm not trying to lose weight. It could be that you want to fit your clothes a certain way. So you have to figure out what types of exercises or lifting or cardio is going to get you there. And of course, everyone, if we're sticking with like the workout realm, of course, everyone's body is different. So not every single exercise that you do will generate the same results, but that's like the fun of it. You can play around with so many different things to get to your goal. Same thing with diet. A lot of people think that a plant-based diet is super boring, but I can tell you it's so different. I was vegetarian 10 years ago and it was rough. There weren't that many options. There wasn't that much YouTube out there with all the recipes and all the encouragement. But now it's super easy and it is not boring at all. It's very colorful, and much easier to do.
That is so good. But what I realized, because I've been guilty of this,
okay,
people are not willing to pay the cost.
Yeah.
Like, it will cost you to get a dietitian to get your meal prep right. It's going to cost you to get a person who will help you work out. Unless you just have friends who just do it and they just want to help you out. But most people, they're always trying to find the cheap way. But anything that's cheap won't last long. I've learned that. My 31 years of living, if it's cheap, it ain't gonna last long. I tell you that right now. So I think people need to realize that they have to be willing to pay the price it costs to be healthy.
Well, I think something that we've all learned during quarantine, the pandemic, is that you can do some things at home. For me, I know that like Core Power Yoga, I think they had some online courses that you could take. I think sometimes you would have to pay, or there were some like free videos. Again, YouTube is a great resource. There's so many free videos there. But I get it, a dietitian or like a personal trainer, they're dedicating and personalizing a plan just for you and just for your body and where you're at. So I totally get that. There's a huge value in hiring or having that as a resource, but at least just to get started, if you're interested, there's plenty of free resources, and you have to be, willing to commit to what your plan is or what your goal is, and be consistent so that you can see a change. And maybe once you do start seeing smaller changes with what you're doing on your own, then maybe it'll make more sense then for you to hire someone else if you want to push faster, push harder, and to bigger goals that you have for yourself.
That is so good, because what I realized is when I was doing rotations, I was doing rotation with a surgeon, and he's like really big with bariatric surgery. So he do like the sleeves and the gastrectomy and all that other stuff. And they have them do a plan, and they have to like be on a diet, and they have to lose a certain amount of weight before they actually proceed with the surgery to make sure that they're serious about this. Because if they put a sleeve on, but you keep overeating, the sleeve is gonna slide down. You're still gonna gain the weight.
Exactly.
So I think you're right on when you like they have to be dedicated.
Yeah, you have to be committed. But again, with like COVID and quarantine, a lot of us got a lot of our own like workout equipment, even if it was small stuff. Or for me, I remember initially I was like, well, where can I get like a gallon jug? And I was using like my laundry detergent, like bought 2 of them just so I could do deadlifts or do whatever, just finding small things that could substitute the gym equipment that I never could use. And also there's a beauty in it where you could be exercising smaller muscle groups that you don't typically focus on compared to the larger muscle groups that you focus on in the gym. So there's ways you can get around it for sure. Or again, like our church, we do have a grow group. There's other resources for health and wellness. Even with mental health wellness, I think we're going to be doing a group or some type of grow group starting this year around that. So there are free resources or at least opportunities out there to get the help that you need or that you're inquiring about.
That's so good, because like in the book of Zechariah, it says, do not despise small beginnings. So even with the little, get water jugs, small beginnings, small, because little by little. And I want to say this too, because I'm the type of person that I don't do this, and I'm trying to fix that in 2022, is we need to celebrate the small wins.
Oh, absolutely.
Like if you lost 2 pounds, celebrate. I know you want to lose 200, but celebrate the 2. Because you can't lose 200 until you lose the first 2. Right. So celebrate the 2, celebrate the 4. If you're trying, I know we're not talking about finance, but if you're trying to save $1,000, celebrate you save $5. Is that something happens, like the dopamine is released because you're celebrating about the little steps that you're making. So I think that's huge. If you want to have adopt a healthy lifestyle, celebrate the small wins.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the fun part of it. Yeah, you have to. I mean, sometimes it could be a slow start, whatever you're trying to do, your diet or, physical activity. But I just say have fun with it, because that's going to keep encouraging you to continue on, and try also not to eliminate so much or restrict yourself so much where you're like, well, I don't want to do this, or you work out so hard that you can't walk or you can't squat or you can't do whatever, that you're like, I don't want to do that again because that's so painful. So definitely celebrate the fun times and the small wins.
And I also want to say this, because when you start on this healthy lifestyle journey, we get tempted to like look at other people's journey. And then we compare ourselves, we compare our behind the scenes self to people's highlights. And it's like, I wish I could run 3 miles. Baby girl, you just started 3 days ago. Let's chill. Don't kill yourself. Like, I wish I had a 6-pack. Dude, you weigh 300 pounds. At least now you're down to 280. Let's do baby steps. So can we talk about the importance of not comparing ourselves to other people when it comes to their health, lifestyle, health journey?
Yeah, that's really hard. I think we're truly all guilty of that. For me, especially because I love being in the gym, I have personally gotten to the point where I love doing certain things in the gym or different things, because I feel like that can kind of encourage someone else to try that. But for me, it's encouraging when I'm seeing someone else do a higher weight or doing a new exercise I've never seen before. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Let me give that a try. But comparison is tough, and you have to stay within yourself. Like, God gives everyone their own test, and everyone's test is going to be different. Everyone's body and body type's different. You're going to be responding to your own diet or your own workout differently than someone else. So I don't know, you were a great encourager for me when I was training for the hot chocolate run. And for me, I was trying to train a lot and trying to figure out how I can run more and more, like in a very small window. And you're like, just take your time, like just small increments at a time. And again, it goes back to goal setting and staying within your goals. But if you do find yourself comparing yourself to other people, sometimes it's nice just to go to that person and be like, hey, how'd you do that? This is awesome that you're doing X, Y, Z, or this is awesome that you have this physique or whatever you're interested in. How did you do that? Having curiosity, I think, is super helpful. Instead of having that negative mindset, like, oh, I'm never going to look like that, or, oh, she must be cheating somehow, or she has the money to hire someone to get her there. Like, just ask.
That's so good, because people, they start having these preconceived notions, like you said, oh, they hired this person.
Mhm.
Maybe they've been doing it longer.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Well,
they were
yeah.
athlete in high school, they know what to do.
Mhm.
So you just have to ask and stop assuming that they did this and this, that's why they have that.
Yeah, again, it goes back to a lifestyle, and you touched on it perfectly. Some people have been working out for years, for 7 years, 10 years. They've been consistent, so they're going to have results that maybe it's going to take a little bit longer for you to attain. It's not overnight. I mean, sometimes you may see like physique trainers, or I don't know what to call them, or bodybuilders. They can do that within a smaller time frame, but if you notice, it's not maintainable. They can't keep their bodies looking like that because there's a specific diet and workout plan and whole lifestyle routine that they have to focus on for 3 months or 5 months or 6 months to have that type of body. So absolutely, I think you just have to give yourself time and have your 1 year goal, or your 6 month goal, your 1 year goal, your 5 year goal, and stick with that instead of comparing yourself to others.
And that's so good. And people need to, have grace for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, you slipped up and ate that donut. It's not the end of the world. You just start all over, all right? But I think we're in a generation that we look at streaks and not records. Does that make sense? Or
Yeah.
like, oh, my 24-day streak is over. Might as well just binge out for the next 3 weeks. Like, oh, chill. Let's look at the record. You're 24-1. Let's move on to 25-1. Don't go crazy. And so, like, since I messed up here, I'm gonna binge out for 21 days and just eat cake every day. Like, chill. This.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, I have friends that have broken like their streak, like in the middle of the week, like, well, I might as well keep going. I'll start over on Monday. Like, why not start over today? Or why not start your New Year's resolution in July or in September? Like, it doesn't have to just be super regimented to a certain time frame. You can get right back on track after you have your little slip up or what have you. Maybe your body needed that donut. Who knows? Maybe you needed that sugar somehow. Your body was just telling you.
Yeah, and to go spiritually, because we're in the middle of a fast. Some people are like, oh, I messed up today, so I'm not going to start till next week. Bam, just start tomorrow. Right? You got to wait till next week. Just start tomorrow. Keep it pushing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not necessary. No, that you could totally start over right in that moment, right after you do mess up. You can pray for forgiveness or tell God that you want to start over and give you strength and energy to do whatever you are, giving up or doing for your fast. Absolutely. You can get right back on track.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more content, subscribe over here and watch the next video over there. God bless you.